Hey, what it do, y'all? What it do, what it do? Hope everybody been doing all right. I've been hanging in there. This has been what I've called what I've been recognizing as an Indian summer, given the date of this live stream. So I'm pretty sure some of y'all know what an Indian summer is, and it's just pretty much in these parts of the world here in the Americas, in this part of the world. It's just basically defined as a very long summer. So this particular live stream is definitely live during this long summer, this long Indian summer. Hey, good evening, Aquarius. Good to see you once again. Yeah, we got definitely something to talk about in regards to this live stream. So, uh, yeah, because as one sees with the title of this live stream, a mongoose mentality. Well, you know, mongooses like to live in very warm parts of the world, very tropical parts of the world. Well, they live in places around the world where the summers are longer than Indian summers, if you will. So, this live stream in particular, it's going to be about a few things I've been thinking about in mind. And for some who already know, you've seen the thumbnail and you see the thumbnail and you see the mongoose versus the mamba, the black mamba. Hey, what's good, Brown Do Life? I know you don't see yourself in the blue right now. Hit me up on the email, or if you still on other formats, I think you're on IG still. But either way, hit me up on my email. I'll give you more information. Rayologyxm@gmail.com. I got you. But yeah, be on standby. But yeah, hit me up. I'll give you more information as to what's to come. So let's go. Let's go. Let's uh let's continue to talk more about tonight's topic. So there's a lot I want to explain here. There really is because, like I say, you see the mongoose versus the black mamba, and of course, for those who know about Kobe Bryant, he's been known for the mamba mentality. So for the mongoose, for every mamba, there's a mongoose. For every black mamba, there's a mongoose. Now, this live stream is not really about me speaking out against Kobe Bryant's mamba mentality. There's actually a sweet story about partially what got Kobe Bryant to be having the Mamba mentality. So I'll sort of fast forward a little bit and talk more about what do I mean by his mindset, like what led him sort of to this idea of the Mamba mentality. Okay, so we want to get into that. So we're going to talk more about this, shall we? Well, partially what got him to that point had to do with a lot that he's had to face on his own. Just coming up as a player in the NBA, he was considered like at the time like one of the youngest to ever be drafted into the NBA. So he had to deal with a lot of opposition from people that were older, much older than him. But he was more talented than all of them, and they knew of his potential, but people were jealous. So he had to fight all that stuff coming up and still, eventually reign supreme on everybody. So it really took him having like a certain mentality to get to that point. And so part of one of the reasons why the mama mentality was born was because he didn't want to feel like he was prey to anybody. He didn't want to feel like he was prey to anybody. So that's one of the reasons why we would see him develop this sort of killer instinct. People think that Kobe Bryant developed the killer instinct just to be of great offensive superiority on the court. No, his killer instincts that led him to have the mama mentality actually started when he was a rookie, when he had to deal with a lot of people trying to mess with him when he was coming up in the NBA. You know, people were trying to bully him and stuff like that, and he was like, "No, I'm not having that," and he let it be known. So, um, a lot of his mama mentality pretty much was helping him to get through a lot of those adversities that were taking place. Okay, so with that said, let's continue to sort of talk about more on some of the pillars of his Mamba mentality, some of the things that kind of helped him get through. So, and eventually I'll talk about, okay, what does the mongoose mentality have to do with this? So I'll try to do a side by side comparison so that this live stream is not too much caught up on the mama mentality. By the way, I am sipping on some of the sponsored drink. Not that I'm being sponsored, but pretty much what Kobe Bryant invested a lot of his investments in regards to energy drinks. So I got my energy drink that has the number 8 and the number 24 on it. If y'all haven't seen it, pretty good energy drink. So sipping on some of that. Actually, this ain't really like an energy drink. It's like a performance drink. But yeah, it says Mamba Forever on it. But yeah, let's talk kind of like what's the difference between the mongoose mentality and the Mamba mentality. So as one knows with the mongoose is pretty much the worst nightmare to a lot of mambas and cobras and any other type of snake alike, because the mongoose moves just as quick as the snakes, as those type of venomous snakes, and it's doing that to actually eat those snakes. See, those snakes have in mind to kill the mamba. I mean, those snakes have in mind to kill the mongoose, but the mongoose has in mind to eat the mamba. It's a different mindset. So the killer instinct that led to a lot of Kobe Bryant's mama mentality is different for the mongoose, because the mongoose is actually just hungry. It's not trying to kill, it's just actually trying to eat. So it developed kind of more of a offense. It developed this defense to be an offense versus having just all out offense. It learned how to be quicker than it learned how to be quicker. So literally in this sense, in regards to the mongoose, you could consider it as not not even prey, nor does it really behave like predator. What do I mean? Well, if you look at the pupil of a mongoose, literally look at the eyeballs of a mongoose and you'll see its pupil. You'll see that it has the same type of pupils as goats and sheep. Yes, because the goats and sheep, they have pupils where it's like a instead of a dot, it's a slash. Not even a slash, it's a dash, like it's just like a straight line going across its pupil, just like sheeps and goats do. Yes, mongoose have that. And I guess this is uh helps mongoose to have an enhanced vision as prey would have to look out for predators. Yet it behaves no different than a predator when it encounters a predator. Like, in order for it to be an efficient predator towards animals like mambas, the mongoose had to have the same reactions as prey. So mongooses are very unique in that they move like a predator, but yet behave like prey, or you could say behave like a predator but move like prey. Like, that's just kind of the dual life of a mongoose. Yes, the dual life of a mongoose. That's what makes them unique. So whereas I could see like with the Mamba mentality, how it's just pretty linear based on this killer instinct seize in the moment, just kind of trying to be a greater version of yourself, as Kobe Bryant talked about all the time with the mama mentality. Actually, no, let me take that back. He said it was about being the best version of yourself every day, striving to be that every day. That's what Kobe Bryant was saying. Whereas the mongoose is just striving to be the better version, not the best version, but the better version. So there's no limit to how good you can get. You're always improving, you're always learning, and you're studying. You're always trying to see how things are going to come about around you. Now, mind you, like Kobe Bryant did the same thing. He studied every time he was on the court. He looked at every video of every basketball game he ever played. But he was just maximizing himself. Whereas someone with the mongoose mentality, you're not really trying to maximize yourself. You're actually trying to uh, improve. You're improving. It's an incremental thing. You never want to be maxed out. You want to make things incremental. And if you think about it, that's actually how the mongoose ends up killing the black mamba and or the cobras. Yes, and or the cobras, because it dances with the snakes in incremental steps. It dances with the snakes until it finally goes in for the kill by going for the head of that snake, because that's the only way you could really kill those snakes, is going for the headshot. But you have to dance with them, and then incremental, you pick up the pace to where now you're going for the kill. And that's exactly how the mongoose does every time when it gets around a snake. So let's sort of talk about the 5 pillars of the Mamba mentality that Kobe Bryant talks about. Let me double check. I'm kind of short on moderators just temporarily until the right time comes. But yeah, double checking. Got to double check, make sure nobody's hating in the chat. So far, so good. Yeah, but with that said, yes, exactly, Aquarius. The slit eyes, yes, that's what the mongoose have. That's what makes them very unique, very unique. So, but let's talk about these pillars. Let's go here. Let's go here. Okay. Let's see. Aquarius said this. She said, mongoose mentality is basically being a student in the school of life where you want to learn and continuing to improving yourself. Exactly. Like, see, the mama mentality is more so about mastering and being a master, whereas the mongoose mentality is about being a student. And actually, the true masters always think of themselves as students. They never think of themselves as masters or mastering. That's just a little hint, but that's once again not taking anything away from the mama mentality. Like, what I'm trying to put out here, and basically I'm introducing to the world the mongoose mentality. So this is from me. This is from yours truly, rayologyxm. This idea of the mongoose mentality. What I'm trying to share with the world is just another way of going about doing things. Not really trying to maximize yourself. Not trying to necessarily put it all out there on the floor, because uh, consequently, due to the mama mentality that Kobe Bryant had, he always had to maximize himself out on the floor, even if it was through a lot of pain, even when he should have been out there on the floor. Every day he's trying to maximize every hour, every second, every minute. And that's really what he did. Whereas the mongoose mentality is about actually improving upon every hour, every day, every minute. Less is more. What if the mongoose was doing too much when it was trying to dance with the snake? Well, the snake will eventually get him. The mama will get him, and that's really the main reasons why, if you see some fatalities that mongooses have had with snakes like black mambas and cobras, that's because that particular mongoose was probably a younger juvenile that was doing too much around that snake. Whereas the older mongooses got it. Less is more. They knew you only had to dance so much because the snake can only really move in one direction. And you have to counteract that. Don't do too much or you're gonna get caught up in the strike. That's pretty much what a lot of mongooses get as they get older. You notice if you look at just the different footages of mongooses, the older mongooses tend to not move as much. They only move when necessary. They do a counter strike for every strike, whereas the younger mongooses just be all over the place, and that snake can just stand there and catch it slipping. Then it goes for the strike. Then it's too late for that younger mongoose. See, the mongoose mentality itself is literally like what Aquarius is talking about. Whereas, the mongoose mentality is literally you being a tortoise versus the hare. You know, that's kind of where it's at with the whole mongoose mentality. You're not even trying to be first. You're just trying to finish. Like they say, life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You're not trying to be first. You're just trying to finish. Okay. That's the idea with the mongoose mentality. See, the Mamba mentality had Kobe Bryant always wanting to be first in the gym, and even last out the gym. But not that he saw himself as last out the gym. He saw himself as not only first in the gym, but also only the first one to call it quits, even after everybody else was gone. You know? So, but the mongoose mentality isn't about being first. It's about just finishing. Okay, I'm gonna go to practice, basketball practice like everybody else. I'm gonna finish just like everybody else finishes. But my output is going to be as such. I didn't have to put out as much as the other person did. I didn't have to put out as much as the other person did to get the same result. And a lot of times, even a better result, because I'm resting in between. My lifestyle is such balanced in a certain way. My schedule is a certain way. I'm not trying to overdo myself. I'm not trying to overkill myself. We actually live in a world that loves the mama mentality because it's really, the mama mentality actually is reflective of the hustle and the bustle. If you think about it, the way things have to slither, the way we see trains slither in and out the cities, these subways, the way they slither in and out the city. Have you noticed when you see a train coming to the station, it looks like a snake as it's coming in? But a lot of traffic, a lot of the way people move in this world, you can see how they move out here. Everybody's snaking along the way, and you gotta know how to move. But see, the mongoose is not really about how to move. It's about how to move right, how to move when necessary. That's the mindset of the mongoose. But yeah, not to digress too much, let's get right to the point of what I want to talk about for the most part. And I'll put the link of this particular article that I'm going off of in the description section. For those listening to this on the replay, you should see it there. But yeah, there's 5 pillars of the mama mentality from what I've gathered. And who knows? I don't know if this is the right resource, but this is from what I've gathered once again. So, one of the pillars is resilience. The second pillar is fearlessness. The third pillar is obsessiveness. The fourth pillar is relentlessness. And the fifth pillar is passion. So, those are the 5 pillars of the Mamba mentality that Kobe Bryant has put out there for the world. And so, yes, my heart goes out to Kobe Bryant and his family. Long live Black Mamba. Now, I continue on and I'm literally picking up where he left off in my own way because we're talking about a different avenue about the mongoose mentality versus the Mamba mentality. What would life have been like for Kobe Bryant had he decided to do the mongoose mentality? Now, I think to be honest, just given the way his life has been, I think the Mamba mentality was great for him given the way he had to live his life. But as he gets older, maybe he's like, well, I need to think more like a mongoose instead of a mamba. As I get older, I have to do less to get more. Like Michael Jordan realized that. Why do you think that Michael Jordan was still good on the court long after his prime? Because he knew how to do more with less. Okay. Aquarius said, Mongoose mentality is take your time and do it at your own pace because you are not in competition with no one. No, once again, like the mongoose is hungry. It's not competing with the snake. It's not trying to outdo the snake. The mongoose is hungry. There's no competition between the mongoose and the snake, the mamba or the cobra. No, when that mongoose sees that snake, it's not thinking about competition. It's thinking about food. Okay, it's no competition. You said also Aquarius, mama mentality is a fast microwave speed, but it's at its own demise because you burn yourself out with competing and trying to do better than someone else. Yeah, especially when you are, wanting to be the best version of yourself. That automatically puts you in a competitive mindset. And of course, we know that Kobe Bryant was one of the most competitive people you could ever know. I mean, he was truly what you would call a sore loser. Like, and I don't say that in a bad way because really competitive people do not like losing. They hate losing. Do not talk to them about losing, okay? They always for the win, they're going for the win. They're not going to hear about they don't want to hear about losing. But the beauty of the mongoose mentality is that it was never about losing. It was only about improving. Now, I think to be honest, Michael Jordan was more about the mongoose mentality than the Mamba mentality in many ways, because Michael Jordan was really about improving versus just about winning. Yeah, he won a lot, but Michael Jordan really cared more about improving because he knew that we ain't doing nothing about winning if we're not improving, you know? And that's where kind of where Kobe Bryant had the issue of, okay, the only way we can win is if we figure out how to improve. And even Phil Jackson spoke on this. He said what made Michael Jordan still more superior to Kobe Bryant was that Michael Jordan knew how to get everybody together under his leadership in regards to improving, whereas it took a little longer for Kobe Bryant to figure that out. And he, in my opinion, he had the excellent opportunity with Shaquille O'Neal. Now, he did things to try to tell Shaq, yo, man, you lazy. You need to get up and do something. But it wasn't really in the spirit of improving. It's just like, yo, in order to win, you need to get your butt up, quit being lazy. It was kind of more like that, right? So before I really go more over on these different pillars of the mama mentality and how we could kind of uh in this case not compare but even contrast in regards to the mongoose mentality, let's look more into this article. Not too much, excuse me, not too much. Like I said, I'm gonna put this the link to this article in the description section for those listening to this on the replay. Let me try to actually look this up, see if I can get back to that same article here. Eventually, I'll do screen shares like I used to do back in the day with my live stream. So just bear with me, y'all. I got y'all. Now, I'm hoping I can find the same article. Hopefully, I can. If I can't, hey, we're going to find something similar because we know that he talks about it all the time. Actually, let me just type this in. Mamba mentality. Let me see this here. 5 pillars. 5 pillars. Okay. So getting back to what I just mentioned, while we're doing this, let's see what else Aquarius said. She said, dang, but I can see that a sore loser. Yeah, I can see that in a sore loser in regards to the mama mentality. Yeah. I mean, all day long. Like, and of course, one of the greatest uh champions or people champion the mama mentality right now is Kyrie Irving. I mean, but I don't think he's really putting forth the winning side of it to his mindset, or even the being the best version of yourself side of it to his mindset. I think Kyrie Irving literally takes on the mama mentality in regards to the killer instinct. Okay, he takes on the mama mentality fully in regards to the killer instinct. I mean, look at the way Kyrie Irving moves on the floor. He's very slithery. He's very snake-like with the way that he moves out there on the court. Nobody can really touch him. So you can see it in him. He's definitely about Mamba mentality when he's out there on the court. But I think in some ways also Kyrie Irving could also relate to the Mongoose because I think he knows he's probably the best point guard out there, but he's not really saying he's like the GOAT or the best version or just I'm number one. It's kind of like I am Kyrie Irving. So I think he could kind of even lean more towards the Mongoose as well. Anybody else have their thoughts about Kyrie Irving? Do you see him as more Mamba or Mongoose or a little bit of both? Put that in the comment section below. Feel free. Okay. So yeah, I'm looking at this article, just scrolling down, and he put down his different ideas. He just has so much in every word that he put down for the different pillars of the for the Mamba mentality, which was once again resilience, fearlessness, obsessiveness, relentlessness, and passion. I think I'm gonna do probably another part of this mongoose mentality. I haven't figured out how I'm gonna do that, so I'm gonna just leave that up in the air for now. But I definitely want to add more to my 5 pillars of the mongoose mentality. So bear with me. I'm definitely gonna come back or give y'all an idea of how I'm gonna put this out there more for the world because, to be honest, my whole life has been about the mongoose mentality, not the mamba mentality. I've been more like a mongoose, so I have a certain way that I move too. But I'm not really slithery like a snake with it. I'm more like a mongoose with it. I don't really strike. I don't have a killer instinct about it. I know how to counter strike because I'm just hungry at times, like the mamba is. Okay, so yeah, I looked more into this article. I thought there was something I can pull out, like at least show y'all right quick, if you will, like some of the things he might have said. Yeah, some of the things that Kobe Bryant might have said about the Mamba mentality, but more so, it's just that this mentality was like his driving force, like everything that's put in here. So let's just go over the 5 pillars. Let's talk about the actual words at this point. Let's talk about the actual 5 pillars. So let's get back to this right now. Okay. So passion. Let's look up that pillar of the Mamba mentality. Passion. Let's look up passion. Okay. Let's look at what Kobe Bryant had in mind, or at least what I can decipher from passion, because the article talks about it too. Like I said, I'm gonna put that in the description section for those listening to this on the replay, and then I'm gonna do a not a side by side comparison, but a side by side contrast, because there's nothing to compare the Mamba to. There's nothing to compare the Mamba to in regards to the Mongoose. Okay. Yeah, the first pillar of Kobe Bryant's Mamba mentality. He said it's passion, having passion. Okay, so let me make sure that's in order too before I actually continue on. Let me make sure this is in order. Okay. No, that was the last word. Now we want to start with the first. Now they're all in different orders to be honest. So we ain't really got to do it in set order. Just make sure we got the words right. So we're gonna do it that way, okay? So one of the pillars of the mama mentality is passion. So if you look at passion, it's just one meaning of it is strong and barely controllable emotion. Okay, so interesting. So just raw emotion, right? Keep that in mind. Emotion. Okay, because if you think about it, if you really think about it, the opposite of emotion is logic. So if you ask me, though the mamba might be more emotional given its killer instinct, the mongoose is more logical in noticing that killer instinct of the emotional mamba. See, y'all see where I'm going with this? Okay, let's go with the next pillar. Let's go with the next pillar. The next pillar is fearlessness. Let's go with that. That's another pillar of Kobe Bryant's Mamba mentality. Let's look up fearlessness. Okay. All right. Once again, shout out to Kobe. Long live Mamba. Fearlessness is lack of fear. Okay. So side by side contrast. Well, I'd say this. Mike Tyson, when he got in the ring, he did not have fearlessness. Well, his thing was I'm scared. I'm not afraid. I'm just scared. Okay, like he literally cried before he fought anybody. You know, people always joke about it. They say, you know, nothing like a man that's going to cry because of what he's going to do to you. And that was Mike Tyson. See, I'm not saying there's any fear in the mindset of a mongoose when it encounters a black mamba, but I'm pretty sure the mongoose thinks about how deadly the black mamba is and that it has to do things accordingly. So over time, it evolved to where it knew how to dance with the snake. So I think the side by side contrast of the mongoose mentality versus the mamba mentality is that the mongoose, I won't say it has fear and that it is scared, but it is aware. But it's not that it goes into the whole fight with the mamba with a sense of fearlessness. It has more of a sense of being aware that, yeah, I could get bit. But however, if the snake does bite me, I can actually take on more venom than most animals on this planet before I actually die of this type of snake venom. You know, he can't just get me with one bite. I really don't want to be bit, so I'm gonna try to still be faster than that snake. Okay, but with that said, that's how I move. You know, counter strike is strike. Not that I'm showing fearlessness, but I'm not scared either. But it's just y'all get where I'm going with this, right? Okay, so let's go here, talk about the third pillar. We're about halfway in, half an hour in. Hey, what's good, Sheed? I see you, man. What's good? All right, we go in, talk about the third pillar. And I should have actually retitled this live stream. I think I'm gonna retitle it Introducing the Mongoose Mentality. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna retitle it. I think that'll get more people knowing of this because you know, it's like no one has heard anybody talk about this before. So let's introduce it. Yours truly is introducing the mongoose mentality. Okay. So yeah, the third pillar of Kobe Bryant's Mamba mentality. So far we've talked about passion being the first pillar, second pillar being uh, fearlessness. Let's go with the third pillar. Let's talk about obsessiveness. That's one of the pillars of his pillars. Obsessiveness. Yeah, let's talk about that. Obsessiveness. Obsessiveness. Okay, let's go. Hmm, what does this mean? Now, this is kind of one of those words where it could be somewhat of like a conundrum, you know? Like, what do I mean by this? What do I mean by this? This whole idea of the conundrum. Well, it could sort of seem like confusing, but we're going to get to it. We're going to try to break this down even more so. Okay, because if you do look up obsessiveness, one thing it talks about is just tending to cause obsession, excessive, often to be often to an unreasonable degree. But it's kind of like I don't think Kobe Bryant was trying to be unreasonable with his obsessiveness. He did what he did with reason. Okay, like it wasn't like he was maniac. He was more killer instinct with it. But I don't think he just did what he did for like no reason. I mean, there was a reason for his obsessiveness, right? So let's try to break this down more because I think like it just doesn't really explain what I really want y'all to see from his perspective of obsessiveness. That's why I said this is sort of a conundrum here. So I think without really seeing or knowing or like really getting more into like this word as much as I want to, um, I think more or less with Kobe Bryant, his more so his mentality of obsessiveness is just based on just over the top, just like to a higher degree, not really like to a as they would say to a unreasonable degree. But for Kobe Bryant, he does everything to a higher degree. So anything you could think of. But obviously, to those who they feel like he's competing against, they probably would say something to Kobe like, "Yo, man, you like doing this to an unreasonable degree. You're like too obsessive. Do you have a life? Do you go home? Why you out here on the court until three from 3 to 3? Like it's not that serious." Even though Kobe Bryant, he explained like if I put in this much time, by the time these guys catch up, I would have been like at least 3 to 5 years ahead in regards to my basketball skills, given that I put more time into the gym than they did. So that was how he looked at obsessiveness, just as far as doing things to a higher level, not really just doing things just overkill. Like he didn't see it that way. So y'all kind of can see how it went there. But let's once again do a side by side contrast, not comparison, but contrast. Let's bring back the mongoose mentality. The mongoose mentality is not about this obsessiveness. It's not about being over the top. Once again, what did I tell y'all about mongooses versus deadly snakes? Less is more. You don't want to try to do more when you're dealing with something that could possibly kill you at any second. So the mongoose knows how to back off when he sees that the snake is all riled up, and then it waits for the right time to counter strike. He has to wait until it strikes first, then it counter strikes. That's the mindset of a mongoose. It's trying to not be so obsessive with everything. Like it's just about balance, and I don't want to give too much away, but it's you just want to make sure everything's running smooth. When y'all see how the mongoose actually interacts with these deadly snakes, you'll see that, whoa, you might as well call that a smooth takedown. Call it a smooth takedown that the mongoose did with those deadly snakes. I'm just saying, because it's not really caught up on trying to be so obsessive with it, okay? So let's go here. We got two more pillars of the Mamba mentality that we're gonna break down. And I think there's two more. One is relentlessness, and then the other one is resilience. Let's go to resilience. Let's talk about resilience. Let's talk about resilience. Let's look that up, see what that has to say. Yeah, resilience is a good word. It is. It's a very good word. Ah, yeah, resilience. The capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, or a sense of having toughness. Now, we noticed throughout Kobe Bryant's career, he's recovered from a lot of things. He even had someone that was part of the physical trainer, um, the physical trainer unit of the Lakers. They pretty much put his finger back into the socket when he had dislocated his finger in the middle of a basketball game, like it was nothing, and he went right back out on the court like it was nothing. And I bet it was pretty painful. But he's like, go ahead, do it. And yeah, they made sure his finger was put back in place. Yeah, so resilience, yes, 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 yes. Definitely about having that resilience to recover quickly from difficulties. And I mean, yeah, a lot of snakes, I believe they have a decent healing factor. But see, the thing with snakes, what really helps them with their healing is that they literally shed skin. They shed skin and they become larger, longer, if you will. They shed skin. So, literally everything that Kobe Bryant has went through since he's taken on the Black Mamba moniker, you've seen how he's recovered. You literally see how he was able to shed skin. Okay. And you saw Kobe Bryant get stronger and stronger. Despite what he went through, you could see that about him. Okay. So yes, that resilience was there. Now, with a mongoose, it's not really about resilience, it's about immunity. Okay. It's about immunity. It's one of the only animals that are immune to the poison or the venom of the black mamba and other poisonous snakes like certain cobras. So that's the difference. The mongoose mentality is not necessarily about the resilience, it's about just being immune, period. What would you want? Would you want to uh, have a healing factor or just be immune? Which one? Y'all let me know. Okay. So let's see. Last but not least. Last but not least. Let's see. The last pillar is relentlessness. Let's go there. Last but not least. All right. So, yeah, buddy. Let's click that. See what that says. All right. Woo. Now, oh my gosh. All right. All right. So some of these definitions I look up, it brings out some very deep stuff. Let's go. Um, One word it says the fact of continuing a cruel, severe, or extreme way, the sheer relentlessness. Okay, so let's kind of go back. So this sort of ties in with the obsessiveness in regards to the Mamba mentality, which I said earlier was kind of like a conundrum, but the relentlessness, what makes it different than the obsessiveness, as you just heard, it's like the continuing. So basically, the continuing of the obsessiveness. That's what the relentless is. The relentlessness is the continuance of the obsessiveness. Okay, so you got to continue it. It's not enough to have it. You got to continue it. So with Kobe Bryant, in his case, he probably did the same thing. He didn't change that. Whatever that extreme thing did, excuse me, whatever that extreme thing that he did, whatever that was, he kept doing it. He didn't stop. Whether it was going to the basketball court at a certain time of the day, whether it was drinking a certain type of a drink or eating a certain type of a meal, he did that all the time. He did not change, and he continued it, no matter how extreme he was about it, no matter how obsessive he was about it. Now, in regards to his personal life, we don't know, but I think Vanessa Bryant wasn't disappointed. She seems very happy, if you ask me. Yes, yes, she get it. She gets it. Yep, yep, you get it, she. Yep, made him go harder. Just having that relentlessness, it made him go harder every day. Every single day, it made him go harder. Like it didn't matter. So every day he was woke. He was pretty prime. So he actually had sort of the same mentality as a lot of the elites in the military. You know, a lot of the Navy SEALs and things like that. He was on that level. Like Kobe Bryant was there. He was there. Okay. So a lot of those military elite, a lot of them even read his books. A lot of them have a lot of respect for him. Oh yeah, that's it. That's it, Aquarius. Mamba resilience versus mongoose immunity. You said this a hard question, but in these times, definitely need mongoose immunity. Yeah, yeah, you would think. I mean, not everybody has what it takes to just bounce back like that. That requires recovery. Okay, to bounce back, that requires recovery. Okay, so, but yeah, I'll say this in regards to the relentlessness. Uh, See, here's the catch. Here's the catch. All right, all right. Here's the catch. Did you not know that the mongoose sometimes plays dead? It sometimes plays dead. Okay? It plays dead. And snakes actually are kind of turned off when they see an animal that's dead. What makes snakes go like they go is when they're constantly engaging with the prey and it's live. And this goes not only for poisonous snakes, this goes for non-poisonous snakes too, like pythons and anacondas. For them, they're more excited by live prey, not dead prey, live prey. It's even a similar mentality amongst sharks. Why you think they have to bait the water with blood and dangle the meat and swirl it around the water to cause excitement, to make the sharks come and think that, oh, something is actually struggling for life. Let's eat it up. Okay. So that's like that's what gets them going, those snakes. And see, like to be honest, like Kobe Bryant, one of the reasons why he went so hard, because he knew almost every day that he was out there on the floor, he smelled blood. Like he smelled exciting prey to catch. He felt like there was really no one that could be better than him out there. Like his only match he really had, to be honest, was the Mongoose himself, Tracy McGrady. Yes, I call Tracy McGrady a Mongoose. Real talk. I call Tracy McGrady a Mongoose because he did have the mindset of a Mongoose going up with Kobe. He was like, no, I know I can't be Kobe. I'm not trying to be Kobe. That I'm not trying to do. But I can let Kobe know that there's something about me that you can't deny. And those snakes, some snakes actually go and retreat when they see the Mongoose. However, when the snake doesn't have that relentlessness that day, I mean, however, when the snake does have the relentlessness that day, sometimes the mongoose knows how to play dead. But see, here's the unique thing about the mongoose: it plays dead. The snake tries to walk away, then the mongoose goes and strikes and kills the snake and eats it. Okay, goes for the headshot. See, that's why the mongoose does that. You know, it just knows how to play dead. Sometimes it's just not about being relentless. Sometimes it's just more about receding, not really retreating, but receding. What do I mean by receding? Okay, let's look that up. Receding. Okay. And we're not talking about receding hairline. Okay. We're not talking about that, but uh we're not talking about that. No pun intended. Okay. So, but receding basically means to move back or further away from a previous position. So a lot of times the mongoose does that. It'll recede a little bit, but then it'll pounce back. It'll pounce back on that snake because the snake, caught it off guard. I mean, it caught its, it caught itself off guard when it thought the mongoose was dead. Because, like I said, snakes they get more excited by live prey, whether the snake is poisonous or not. Okay, but the mongoose is different. Sometimes the mongoose, when you have this mongoose mentality, you got to be like the mongoose. Sometimes when you do see all this relentlessness going on, all these snakes coming at you, sometimes you got to play dead. But then you catch them off guard, let them know, no, I played dead. I'm not dead. I played dead. There's a difference. You said, yeah, they be playing possum, Aquarius. They be playing that possum. Oh yes, indeed. You said also, mambas and sharks love the adrenaline rush of dominating. They live. Uh, they live. Yeah, they be working it to death. I get what you're saying. Yeah, but see, here's the catch. You ready for this, Aquarius? To all the sharks out there, the sharks have their own mongoose too, right? Especially the great whites. Okay, the orca is the mongoose to the great white. Look it up, and it doesn't take the prey to be excited for the orca to want to play with the great white. Ooh, and I wasn't even trying to rhyme, and it just happened. You see, let's go. So it'll play with the prey regardless, even if the prey wasn't even moving. Cause see, them orcas be hungry. Them orcas be hungry. See, same mentality as a mongoose. I'm not here to like really play with you like that. You dig? I'm not really here to play with you like that. I'm really hungry though. Okay, I'm hungry. Okay, I'm not gonna play with you just because you playing, just because your movement excites me. Okay, no, I'm hungry right now. Now I can have some play food. That's different. I'm not here to play with you like that. I'm really hungry though. See, it's just different. It's a different mindset, man. So hopefully I've kind of given y'all an idea of like what it means to be a mongoose versus a mamba. 1 second. Yeah, so that's really it. Yeah, exactly. She testing or on the kill. Facts. Yeah, but there's so much to say about this because I think, to be honest, that's what Kobe Bryant was transitioning into. But to be honest, Michael Jordan was already there as a mongoose. He was already there. One could argue that Tracy McGrady, his style of basketball was actually becoming more like Michael Jordan's versus Kobe. One could argue that. That's something to really debate about. Because I don't know if Michael Jordan had much to say about Tracy McGrady. He had a lot to say about Kobe, but he did not have a lot to say about Tracy McGrady. And I really think because I really think because Tracy McGrady was pretty much close to par to Michael Jordan. But actually, this brings up something else. Could Tracy McGrady be more on par towards the person that Michael Jordan saw as his nemesis? Let me repeat that again. Could Tracy McGrady be more on par with Michael Jordan's nemesis, who was Len Bias? I'm just saying. Could Len Bias be another mongoose that we didn't know about? Because, like I said, I see Michael Jordan as more of like the mongoose versus the mamba. He, you got to think when Michael Jordan first came out, he was going up against a lot of greats. He was going up against a lot of greats. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Sheed. He was at a level below Kobe. I agree. Yeah, and to be honest, like the mongoose is actually at a level below the mamba, but that's why it has to come from a counter strike versus initiating a strike. It has to counter strike. But see, it's kind of like with that said, it's like the mongoose became more formidable, and it's now like to the point where it makes those mambas retreat. But like with Trace McGrady, like I think he was getting to a level that could have, I won't say necessarily surpassed Kobe, but there was times his numbers were better than everybody's for like several years. You know what I'm saying? But Trace McGrady, I guess, just because of the injuries, he didn't have a chance to really progress to this true super mongoose. Maybe Trace McGrady could have came out with his own mongoose mentality book just to prove it, but he didn't really have a chance to become that true mongoose that we saw him as, you know. And so that's probably why he remained at a level below Kobe, even though he had the potential to be even more formidable than Kobe. And Kobe, he even said it like, yo, the only player that really gave me like a run for my money, like who I had to really look over my shoulder about was Trace McGrady. Now the funny thing is, Jordan did say a lot about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant could possibly be another mongoose because he doesn't have that same slithery killer instinct like a Kobe Bryant or even a Kyrie Irving. Kevin Durant, he don't move like that. He kind of reminds me of a Trace McGrady too, just the way they move. I mean, you could even say Giannis, yeah, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak. He has more of a mongoose than a Mamba mentality too. Like I don't think there will be a lot of guys with true killer instinct show up. And like, okay, we won't even talk about LeBron James. We won't even talk about him. I'll let y'all decide. Do y'all think LeBron James is more mongoose or Mamba? Which one? You said she. The game was there on skills, but the heart and will didn't match. Facts, facts, facts. I agree. I agree with that too. I agree with that too. Yeah. So, like I said, T Mac wasn't. He wasn't quite there. He was getting there, but he wasn't quite there. Like he didn't maximize his mongoose ways. He didn't really get a chance to either though. Like heck, I think Penny Hardaway, to be honest, he probably was the Mamba before the Mamba. A lot of people say that Penny Hardaway was the Kobe before the Kobe because he had a similar skill set. Shaq talked about it all the time. Shout out to Penny Hardaway. So yeah. Oh, you said she. Yeah, exactly. That's why I ain't gonna even go there. I ain't gonna even go there. Yep. That's why I ain't gonna even go there with LeBron. I'm just saying I'm not gonna even go there. Yep. Penny ain't no joke, man. That's why I gotta get a pair of them ones. My favorite pennies of all time, still the penny penny ones. Got to give me a pair of the of that breed color. You know, they talk about the breed color, like with the Jordans. Well, you know, the penny breed, you know, you got to get that Orlando blue. Got to get that, man. I still want me a pair of penny ones. Anybody know of somebody that got a fresh pair of penny ones? Hit your boy up. Let's go. But yeah, this has been very interesting though because I just think it opens up another lane because if we want to really, I guess, sort of go into the psychological side of what I'm talking about with this mongoose mentality versus Mamba mentality. I think there are two different type of people in the world, and then there are others that could be like outliers or in betweeners, maybe like LeBron James. But there are people who really just go for it, they're in attack mode. And then there are other people that kind of know how to be in counteract mode, in this life. Depending on how things come your way, it could be setbacks, it could be bills you gotta pay, however way you like to however way you like to peep game in this world. Some people just go for it. They up bright and early in the morning. Let's go get it. Gotta be up before the bird croaks, before the roosters. You up early, ready to get it. That's more like the mama mentality. Whereas the mongoose mentality, you might sleep in a little later, but by the time you get up and you do things, you get things done. And that was actually similar to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan actually, he did not make all his shots, but he made his shots count. Kobe Bryant, he did make a lot of his shots, but Michael Jordan over time got smarter. He said, "No, I know how to make my shots count." So y'all see the difference there. Sometimes in life it's not about how many shots you make; it's just how many of those shots you make count. So that's the difference. That's like the huge difference we can even think of, which y'all know that is a known cliche out there. And that ties in definitely with the mongoose mentality. Hopefully this live made sense to some. Maybe this live stream did not make sense to others. And to the others that this live stream made sense to, make sure that you hit that like button, especially those listening to this on the replay. You said Penny started the phone posit uh shoes. Yeah, he did. Hey, and you know what? I don't know if you know this, but originally the phone posits for Penny, and I don't know. You said phone pasta, so maybe that's something different. Maybe you're talking about a certain trend. But I know with the phone posits, originally the phone posits were not going to be for Penny. They were going to be for Scottie Pippen, but Scottie Pippen didn't want them, and then he eventually went with those more up tempos. The one with the big on the side of it, AIR. He went with those instead, and Penny stuck with the phone posits. And I'm actually glad he did because I was like, yo, to be honest, the hardest Penny uh besides the Penny one to me was the phone posits. Now don't get me wrong, I like the Penny twos. The Penny twos were cool. The Penny threes, they kind of were too like over the top. Penny fours, I wasn't feeling them at all. They try to go retro with that design. You know what I'm saying? No, the penny fours. Let me take that back. I forget which one was the penny fours, if they were the phone posits or not. But nevertheless, a lot of the penny designs really like kind of went backwards, man. But the phone posits kind of brought them back on point. And ever since then, like they haven't made a good penny since. You know, so they say like the penny line is one of the most respected lines of shoes besides the Air Jordans. No cap. I mean, the penny line is even more respected than Kobe's Mamba line. Yes, they're more respected than even the Kobe line. And shout out to Kobe once again. But like, yo, like the penny line was dope. Like, I think to be honest, if they were to uh continue on with the Kobe line, just do like, I don't know, man, do away with the swoosh. I guess you could still use the swoosh with a Kobe line. I'm pretty sure some people would disagree and be like, no, no, keep the swoosh, because I think the Kobe sign, like however way they did the logo for his line, I think that's dope too, and that could stand out on its own. But I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about that. But getting back to what I was saying though, like if this live stream, if you liked it a lot, just know that there's definitely more in store. So make sure that you subscribe, share this live as well as my other content. Just look into my archives, which you'll see it titled as playlists, which consist of a lot of different content, whether it's my live streams or my uploads. So yes, a lot of more uploads in store too. I just been kind of on the back burner about it because I've just been restructuring this channel a little bit, you know. But I'm still going to drop certain live streams like this one at this channel because this is needed, especially given the way my algorithms still are at this channel. I'll still put out certain logical live streams like this one, even though I'm shifting more into more emotional live streams. But every now and then, a logical live stream like this one is necessary. It's great. I enjoy doing them. You said Aquarius, this was another potent and powerful live stream. Thanks a million. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate you giving me a gem for a gem. What's good, Mike? Good to see you back up in the building. Good to see you. Yeah, so make sure y'all hit that notification button. Yeah, hit that notification bell. Whether you're subscribed to this channel or you're about to be and you decided to subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you get all of my uploads in real time. And it's only going to get better from here, especially if you think like a mongoose sometimes. Not taking away from being a mamba. You still can think like a mama, but you can also think about a mongoose and think like a mongoose. Because sometimes you can't always go for the strike. You got to sometimes counter strike. And that's not the same as striking back. Okay? It's not the same as striking back. All right? But y'all be good out there. And until next time, thanks a million for stopping by. Much love. See y'all on the next one.